Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Before I declare the results, I would like to give an appreciation to a few group of people. So I'll start by this process would not have been possible without the tireless work of several people, and it is only fitting that we recognize them before we go any further. To our IT and Media Committee, thank you for your excellent work you put into publicizing the nominees, keeping the association informed at every stage, and ensuring that the process was documented and shared with our members. Your dedication behind the scenes does not go unnoticed. To your entire Electoral Commission team, the vetting panel, and the screening committee, thank you for your diligence, your fairness, and your commitment to ensuring that only the most capable and qualified candidates stood before the General Assembly. Also, to the General Assembly, thank you for turning out in your numbers, for exercising your civic and Islamic duty responsibly, and for trusting this process. This association belongs to you, and your participation is what gives it life. I would also like to give special thanks to Brother Yusuf, the outgoing GMSA President, Vice President, and to our Chief Imam, Abdulatif Timtoni, for their guidance, support, and prayers throughout this electoral process. I'd also like to extend special thanks to Brother Hafiz, that's the current IT boss of GMSA, for his invaluable technical support throughout this process. Also to my deputy, Sawa Mumbi, my biggest supporter and motivator. Thank you for standing by me every step of the way. And to our former EC boss, Yusuf Salamat, who also helped guide me throughout this electoral process. I also give thanks to Salamatu. So I move on to the voter turnout and the statistics for the election. So this year's voter turnout was 278 out of the 3,834 confirmed eligible members of GMSA. The ladies' wing portfolio separately recorded 128 votes out of the 1,465 eligible females, which means that this year 128 females came to vote. So in comparison to last year's voter turnout, which was 181, there was a change in plus 97% voters, and increase approximately 53.6% compared to last year. So I'll be declaring the results from bottom to top in terms of high ranking office. So I'll start with the ladies wing portfolio. So for the ladies wing portfolio, the total cast was 128. The number of valid votes was also 128, so that which means there was no invalid votes for ladies wing. And for the candidate Abdul Sattar Elas Adula, she obtained 101 votes, which the percentage is 78.9%. And the second candidate, Nemat Osman, obtained 27 votes, which amounts to a percentage of 21%. By the power vested in me as the Electoral Commission boss of GMSA-KNUST for the 2025-26 academic year, pursuant of Article 37 of the GMSA Constitution, I hereby declare Abdul Sattar Elas Adula as the ladies wing president, as the duly elected ladies wing president, and Nematu Osman as her deputy. Atakbir. I move on to the next portfolio, which is the organizing secretary. So, same as usual, the organizing secretary, the total vote cast was 278. The valid vote was also 278, which means there was no invalid votes. There are two candidates for that portfolio. The vote goes as follows: Al Hassan Fahad Kayaba obtained 152 votes out of the 278, which amounts to a percentage of 54.7%. Shaib Umar obtained a total vote count of 126, which amounts to a percentage of 45.3%. So, by the power vested in me as the Electoral Commission boss of GMSA-KNUST, pursuant of Article 37 of the GMSA Constitution, I hereby declare Al Hassan Fahad Kayaba as the duly elected organizing secretary of GMSA-KNUST for the 2026-2027 academic year, and Shaib Umar as his deputy. Atakbir. I move on to the financial secretary portfolio. Also, it had 278 votes, no invalid votes. So I move on to the candidates. First candidate is Motion Abdulaziz. Votes obtained was 130, percentage of 46.8%. The second candidate, Issa Mohammed, obtained 78 votes, and the percentage is 28.1%. And Awab Suhun obtained 70 votes, and the percentage is 25.2%. By the power vested in me as the Electoral Commission boss for GMSA-KNUST of the 2025-2026 academic year, pursuant of Article 37 of the GMSA Constitution, I hereby declare Motion Abdulaziz as the duly elected financial secretary, and Issa Mohammed as his deputy. Atakbir. Moving on to the General Secretary portfolio, total votes was 278, no invalid votes. So I'll move on to the candidate. The first candidate, Hamida Sumani Sohini, obtained 153 votes, which amounts to a percentage of 55%. And the second candidate, Fatima Abdul Kader, obtained 125 votes, which amounts to a percentage of 45%. Please take note that from last year, there has been a newly created portfolio, which is the Deputy General Secretary for GMSA-KNUST. So Fatima would be Hamida's deputy. So I just want to take note of something that was introduced last year as well. By the power vested in me as Electoral Commission boss of GMSA-KNUST for the 2025-2026 academic year, pursuant of Article 37 of the GMSA Constitution, I hereby declare Hamida Sumani Suwini as the duly elected General Secretary for GMSA-KNUST 2026-2027 academic year, and Fatima Abdul Hader as her deputy. Atakbir, move on to the Vice President portfolio. Total votes cast was 278. There were no invalid votes. For the Vice President portfolio, the first candidate is Mohammed Sandu Salman, who obtained 114 votes out of the 278, with a percentage of 41%. Musa Zahid obtained total vote count of 108, which amounts to a percentage of 38.8%. And Mohammed Miftah obtained votes of 56, which amounts to a percentage of 20.1%. By the power vested in me as the Electoral Commission boss for GMSA-KNUST 2025-2026 academic year, pursuant of Article 37 of the GMSA Constitution, I hereby declare Mohammed Sandu Salman as the duly elected GMSA-KNUST Vice President for the 2026-2027 academic year. Atakbir, for the last portfolio, the overall boss, the President. The President ran unopposed, so it was a yes or no situation. The total vote cast was 278. He obtained a valid vote of 273. The remaining 5 were voted no. So in total, Sako Abdul Razak obtained 273 votes out of the 278 votes, with a percentage of 98.2% approval. By the power vested in me as the Electoral Commission boss of GMSA-KNUST for the 2025-2026 academic year, pursuant of Article 37 of the GMSA Constitution, I hereby declare Sako Abdul Razak as the duly elected GMSA President for the 2026-2027 academic year. Atakbir.
Okay. A word to our other nominees. Before we move on, I want to speak directly to every candidate who put themselves forward for this election but did not emerge victorious tonight. Please know that stepping forward to contest, to serve, and to place yourself before this assembly is itself a service to the association, and it has not gone unnoticed. An election produces only one winner per portfolio, but it does not define your worth, capability, or your value to this ummah. Every good intention is recorded with Allah, and your willingness to serve has already earned you that reward, regardless of tonight's outcome. Closing appreciation. Before I bring this evening to a close, once again, on behalf of the Electoral Commission, I say a heartfelt thank you to our IT and Media Committee, to the Electoral Commission team, to the vetting panel, and to the screening committee, and to the entire GMSA Assembly for this exercise, for making this exercise a success. Final reminder, before I bring this evening to a close, before you leave, please do not forget the editorial board, poetry slam, and drama night theme Back to Our Roots, Memory and Belonging comes off this evening, 31st July 2026, at the Indies Dining Hall, featuring poetry, drama, cultural displays, with our guest performers, Versified Jawad, son of Adam, and a pen. Do not come. Please do well to pass by.
I, Al-Hassan Yankajia, Electoral Commission boss for this academic year, together with my deputy, Sarah Wumbe, have saved it to our best of our ability for this electoral season. Thank you for your trust. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.